One of the things that we learned in Moodle is we can attach all kinds of files. I've showed you how to attach Word documents, PowerPoints, and you can attach different things, but assuming that the students may not have the readers to read Word or to read PowerPoint, you have an HTML editor within Moodle itself. And so just through the internet, they can read whatever document you create using the HTML editor. So I'm going to show you some of the basics of the HTML editor, should you choose to use that. So once again, turning editing on, if you select add a new topic, this is probably the easiest way to give you an example of that. You'll see on top, this opens up the HTML editor. And the HTML editor has several different functions. So obviously you create a subject, you just type in the name of your function. Now your message itself using any of these icons. So I'm going to kind of go over a few of these. You can obviously choose the font that you want of your choice. There's whatever fonts that are available in your computer. The font size, different sizes you can select. The formatting, if you select from a paragraph to the different headings, that also shows you that it gets larger. If you go to heading 1 and you go up to higher numbers, you have smaller headings. You have a back and do and undo arrows, so you can either edit what you've just started to type. You can search for things. You can find something within your document. So if it's a lengthy document you're typing, you can go back and search for it. Now remember, you can always cut and paste from Microsoft Word into here. Now also, you can toggle full screen mode. I'll do that. And it brings you a full page of the HTML editor. If I untoggle that back again, it brings me back down to this size. So if you're the type of person who likes to work within a full page, selecting that would be fine. And then with your text, you have bold, italic, underline, strike through, obviously subscript and superscript. Texting format for the paragraph, you can justify alignment to the center, to the left. You can clean up messy code. Now, if you save the Word document as an HTML and brought it in here, Moodle will clean it up a little bit. But in most cases, if you had a Word document, I would attach the Word document rather than bringing it over as an HTML. You can remove formatting. Here you can paste as plain text, and you can paste directly from Word. This is what I would do. Now, if you're building it from scratch, you can select the text color. You can do the background color as well. Now, you have directions from left to right for text. Some languages allow, they write from right to left versus left to right. So you can select that from here once you start typing. You can create a list. You can have a numbered list, or you can have a check box list, or different things, gives you choices. And you can indent if you'd like to do that as well. You can add a picture or an image. You can add Moodle media, which is, you'll see that when you play around with that. And I recommend you do that. And you can add equations, you can do math formulas, non-breaking spaces, custom characters. If you select that, it opens up a series of custom characters if you want to use those. And you just X out of that when you choose not to use that. You can add a table. If you choose to add a table, then you can work on things in a format that's a little bit cleaner if you want to have the document broken down that way. Now, if you choose Edit HTML Source, I select that. Here you can build into your source again and update that. Again, that will clean up any HTML document you brought over from another format or from another program. You can do spell check, and you can check it into different languages if you want to do that as well, which is a good function. So my suggestion to you would be to spend a little bit of time, take a look at this. You can build that. That way you don't have to worry about your students having Word, having PowerPoint. You can build your document in an HTML format and build it the way you want, and then save it that way. At this time, I'm going to create the assessment that's tied in with the last assignment I gave, and I know that's going to be due sometime in October. So it's going to be done around the October 18th to 24th week. So in that week, I'm going to turn on editing, scroll back down to that week, the week of the 18th, I'm going to add an activity. And I'm going to describe it in a text format. I'm going to select this particular activity. It's going to be called Presidential Videography. Now, hopefully, I can capture the text that goes with that. And I've tied it in. I had it saved on a Word document. It says, research a president and collect as much data as needed to be able to present a concise electronic video biography about that president. This presentation will be evaluated by the class as well as kept as an archive video to be part of the class library collection. You will have 3 weeks to collect the data, research historical information, and create a script. The videotaping will be in the electronic classroom on Friday, beginning the week of the October 11th. Well, actually, I'm going to change that to the 18th. On a lottery basis, be prepared. Extra credit will be given to whoever presents as the person and dresses the role. So, in this case here, available from, I may decide that I want to make this available for the kids to be able to see. They're going to see that starting September 26th, and the due date will be the week of October 17th. Okay, so now on the 18th, they're going to be, that week of the 18th, they're going to be in their taping, so that's okay. Prevent late submissions? No, I want them all to be prepared. They're going to be graded on 100 points. The grading category, this is a project. I'm not going to allow online text for this right now. I don't want to email all the teachers. They've already been emailed about this before. And no groups involved with this. And I'm going to say save and return to course. Now, if I go back to my grades book and select the grades, I'm going to see over here both these assignments showed up. Choosing a president and the presidential videography follows under the category of projects. First one is a text written thing. So now I have a way to track this. As they do things, it will show up next to each of my students' names. Well, sometimes you may come to your site and find that the face of the site looks different, like this one does right now. My site administrator had made some changes, did some updates, and dressed up the pages a little bit. All the connections and the navigations on either side are identical, except they just have different coloring and different lines attached to it. So now I want to create some kind of assessment. So I'm going to select Turn Editing On, and I'm going to create a small assignment for the students to start thinking about something to do. In October, they're going to be doing a video presentation. So I want them to start thinking about the topic or the person of choice, in this case, selecting a president. So in the week of September 13th to 19th, I'm going to add an activity. I'm going to say online text. I'm going to have the name of the assignment, choosing a president. Small description, choose a president for your video presentation. Then as I scroll down, I'm going to just make this available that 1 week. So I'm going to uncheck that and allow them to, well, actually, that'll be there for them to see throughout the course, but they know they have to make that decision during that week because that's where the assignment will be there. If I wanted to be specific, I can say these will only occur during these dates, and I will prevent anybody from adding a late submission. In this case, it doesn't matter. And since they just are selecting a president, and they'll have a list to check from once they decide, I'm only going to have this worth only 10 points. So eventually I'll have all the presidents on the board, and they'll come in and I'll put somebody's initials next to it, whoever selected that individual. I will allow online text submitting or resubmitting. In this case here, it doesn't really matter. email alert to teachers that they've done their assignment. I'll see that, but I'm going to say yes in this case. I'm going to say yes, I want the email alert to teachers. Anybody else involved with me who's class teaching that? In this case here, it's separate groups. I'm going to say no groups. I want it to be, this is an individual assignment. Now I'm going to say save and return to course. And when we scroll down, you'll see it says choosing a president. So if I wanted to see how this looked like for a student, on the left-hand side where it says switch roles to, I can select student. When that refreshes, this is what they see. They select choosing a president, and it says choose a president for your video presentation. You have not submitted anything yet. So they need to add a submission if they click that. Here's where they say, I choose President Lincoln, whoever it is, whichever president they want, and put their name.